What's up, guys? It's Alex. Welcome to another episode, and today we're doing Top 10 Endings Explained, Pranks Gone Wrong, Unboxing Reaction Challenge. Explained. And with me is Robert. Say what up, Robert.
What up, Robert?
And just remember, if you like what you see and what you hear, smash that like button, hit that bell, beat the shit out of that subscribe button, and leave a totally woke comment in the comment section.
Also, make sure to follow us on all of our social media outlets, including Zapster, Twitter, Snapspeak, Backtalk, Talkback, Zanga, Flickergram, Lifebag, FreezeTag, Plopster, and the National Association of Dentists Who Have Dogs.org. Hello and welcome to episode 33 of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. I'm Robert.
And I'm Alex.
Alex, it was a quiet week in Chicago sports, except for a couple things. Bulls got a new head coach.
Yeah, Fred Hoiberg is gone.
And the Bears have, they need a new backup, don't they?
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to quickly eat my words about saying aside from running game that they were similar in skill, because that might not be the case.
Yeah, well, I mean,
there are some pretty boneheaded throws.
Yeah, that I remember they had
lack of aim.
Lack of aim and just like, I know it's cold and I know it was raining, but like, god damn it.
But it's rainy for everyone. That's the thing about that excuse.
There's only so many times I can see that gif on TV of fucking Chase Daniel taking that snap to his helmet and watching as it falls to the ground without dying of laughing and then crying myself to sleep in the same night.
That's true. You know what though? I'm not that worried.
For this Sunday?
Who are we playing?
The Rams?
Well, you know what? I stand by what we said. We were not going to beat them anyway.
Okay, yeah. No, I was going to I thought you were going to be like, we're going to win. Well, I mean, we could, but I would
the
not
Giants
bet.
beat us. I know we had a backup, but I sounded pretty damn confident.
A lot of people did, that's for sure. Oh man, that was not a fun game to watch, and that's
Tariq Cohen,
best quarterback in that game.
Yeah, killing
him and ODB are the best quarterback, the best throw.
Running back.
Yeah,
don't forget Akeem Hicks.
He fridged it. Freezer left, as they called it.
Hell yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty dope. I won't lie.
That's the thing, though. It's like even in our loss, I like the playbook, coach. I like it, Nagy.
God damn it!
I know it's like I would have liked it a lot more had we come away with a win. But you know what? As they say in Pleasantville, you can't win them all.
Yeah, damn it.
What do you mean by that?
These 4 losses are like the worst losses ever.
See, that's what's annoying is
they all come down to the last play almost.
Yeah.
God damn it. The last set of downs at least. It's like, come on, man.
And the Hawks, let's see. Couple games I watched. Well, they keep losing close ones.
To the Golden Knights, no less, last night.
Okay, I did not catch that, but I saw them
4-3? Or 3-4?
Oh, my God. Again?
Yeah.
They just lost to Calgary. Was it like... Well, it was empty netter, but it was like basically 3-2 almost the rest of the third period.
Right.
Man, it's kind of like they're losing a lot of close games. It's almost like they could have used a little help from the second winningest NHL coach of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he's gone. That's right.
And he's not the only coach in the United Center that's gone.
Right, we mentioned...
Fred Hoiberg's gone. I kind of felt bad for the guy ever since he came here.
He shouldn't have fired Tibbs in the first place.
No, I mean, you shouldn't. Gar and Pax just, first of all, Gar Foreman, I feel like he's just John Paxson's imaginary friend. He just never shows up to any press conference because he's like the scout, I guess.
Yeah.
But Paxton, man, you were a good Bull, man, but fuck, you're not a good Bulls manager.
Markkanen's back in, isn't he?
I think so.
I was watching some game where, surprise, surprise, it was close and then they lost.
Oh, man.
Whatever. That does it for sports. Let's see. Valentin Shevchenko is fighting Joanna Jacek.
Yes.
Which he already beat 3 times in Muay Thai. How exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it'll still be a good fight.
Yeah, it'll be worth a watch.
Because this is cool because they're testing out that 125.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Since certain champions aren't
they're not
they're not up to speed.
Not living up.
Yeah, they're not. Well, I know she had some like serious hospitalization shit from cutting weight.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. There's some shit with that. Holloway's back.
Yeah.
He's had the same shit though. It's like, God damn it, man! I've been waiting for you to fight for like a year. But then shit goes wrong, or your kidneys fail, or concussion symptoms.
Right.
Now there's no more bullshit. He's fighting tomorrow against Ortega.
Yeah.
And everyone's talking about how they're too nice to each other. Well, I'm like, oh, what a pity.
Yeah, we just
They're not just like making fools of themselves.
It's like, guys, we just came out of like a really, really ugly title match.
Yeah. Well, that was a couple months ago.
Was that October?
Yeah, that
Jesus.
was October 6th.
A while ago.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
But yeah, so punching and kicking and footballing and basket hooping
And hollering.
hoop balling, puck shooting, lots of sports stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
But now on to movie stuff. We start off with our first story. There's a Shang-Chi movie in the works for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Shang-Chi is, of course, a kung fu character. From the 70s. Of course, he kind of came, when martial arts, especially because of Bruce Lee, started to really hit a
fever pitch.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to call it. Like it was that the craze started about there in the 70s. So Marvel, god damn it. Just when I thought I was starting to get out, you pull me back in.
Yeah, this is this wouldn't have not been the move I would have picked for them. I would have thought like, okay, Moon Knight or like some other just like like C tier character, but like they're pulling out a cult favorite, especially I know for you. I'm not as familiar.
This is amazing to me because one of my favorite comics that I own, it's an 80-page giant called Bleeding Black, and it's amazing. It's honestly one of my favorite comics, like single issue comics I've ever read.
Damn.
And Shang-Chi is one of my favorite characters. Again, he's sort of like Leonard Skinner. When I talk about my favorite bands, I know I mean to say them, but they get lost in the mix,
Yeah.
So Shang-Chi is Leonard Skinner.
He's Dr. Fu Manchu's son, right?
Something like that. I don't know. See, he's a character I love, and I've got a few issues of, but I don't know him like backwards and forwards like I do like Batman or Captain America or like Birds of Prey. But yeah, I'm extremely shocked that this is their choice.
Yeah.
But the selfish part of me, because some people are kind of like, who the fuck is he? And I'm just like, you watch your mouth. He's Shang-Chi. He's one of the best martial artists in the Marvel Universe. Right. That's who he is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, see, and here's the other thing. That means we're getting upcoming 2 pugilism-heavy movies.
Black Widow
and Shang-Chi.
I can deal with that.
As we all know, people out there listening, there's 2 types of superhero fights. There's punchers and there's ray beams / laser beams. Anyone who shoots any sort of, it's a phaser. No, it's a laser. It's my energy. No, it's a laser.
Oh, it's telekinesis. It's an invisible laser.
Yeah, exactly. It's an invisible laser. And Nightwing has his nightsticks. He's punching.
Yeah.
That's his primary, thing.
Right.
Oh, I've got a bat stick boomerang. No, you're primarily punching.
Right.
And I'm more of a fan of punchers than I am of ray beams, admittedly. And the fact that we've got 2 serious heavy hitters, no pun intended, when it comes to punchers, I'm very excited about this. And Shang-Chi's just another example of that.
Oh yeah, and we got a screenwriter behind this,
right?
One David Callahan, who wrote Doom, but he also wrote the first Expendables, which is good, and he is actually the screenwriter behind the upcoming Wonder Woman 84 for Warner Brothers.
Cool.
So he's got some credits to his name, especially pugilism-focused titles such as Wonder Woman and the Expendables. Expendables is firearms.
Kind of, sort of.
There's some fighting in there. But yeah, this is a very, very promising... not promising, but not unprecedented. What am I trying to say? I'm repeating something I already said. I didn't expect them to make this move. I'm still kind of blown away. Shang-Chi.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. It's
not that it's bad.
I know.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. It is that interesting of a choice because it's not just a character who's like kind of lesser known, like Moon Knight, for example. Like,
Right.
There's a lot of people who've never heard of Shang-Chi.
Right.
But there was just a lot of good comics from that era, man.
Hey, man, when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, I had the same doubts.
Well, see, there's the other thing. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy as a team is sort of a name, but a lot of those characters aren't super well known.
Yep.
And they kind of prove Disney, they're just like, well, we'll just flex the muscle and then you're going to love Groot.
Right.
In as many forms.
Yes.
I mean, I don't.
And then you're not going to anymore.
Yeah. I only liked him as adult Groot, but that's just me. But the millions of dollars of merchandise of baby Groot disagrees with my personal opinion.
Yes.
The point is, we've got another pugilism-heavy movie from Marvel coming out, and I like that. Not only that, it's like, you know how their thing, even though I sort of disagree with this just a little. Oh, we did a political thriller with
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. We did a space opera with Guardians of the Galaxy. We had horror elements, I guess, sort of, in Doctor Strange.
Yeah, or sci-fi for sure, or fantasy / sci-fi for sure, psychedelic type.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Or like, Spider-Man's supposed to be like a high school, like
Coming of age
type movie. Martial arts superhero movie, like on paper, like when you really think about how perfect that is for those two genres for each other. Because like martial arts usually basically are superheroes, and then it's essentially like, let's take exaggerated fights, i.e. martial arts movies, and make them more exaggerated. It's really a perfect meeting of two subgenres. So that's what I'm really excited about. Love the Shang-Chi comics, and that's basically it. This is going to be rad. I hope this is legit.
It probably will be.
See, that's the thing is when
Marvel
generally, when they say they're going to do something, they will.
It's been if they say they're going to do something, that's been in the plans for a while, and you're just finding out about it.
That's kind of what I figured. So good on them for choosing a character that people think they hate or don't know. But trust me, you're going to like him.
Just the same way you did for Guardians.
Yeah. I mean,
Guardians 1.
He hangs out with all the coolest characters. That weird spy guy, like Meacham or something. I don't fucking know his name. The cool spy guy, Misty Knight, and Danny Rand, Iron Fist. Basically all those cool martial arts Marvel characters.
Oh, yeah. The Marvel Knights, man. Or that sort of realm.
Sorta. Well, he was in Heroes for Hire as like later. I don't know. He's been in a couple like rando teams. Like,
has he ever done anything with Blade?
Like Heroes for Hire, Marvel Knights. You know what? Yeah, I bet. Like, I don't know for sure. I'm sure he's been in something with Blade.
Ghost Rider or some shit.
Nah, I don't know. He's hung out with Spider-Man a lot.
Okay. Oh, that'd be interesting.
Well,
maybe he'll show up somewhere with Tom Holland.
Well, there's a lot of people, like, I think this might be bullshit. I read somewhere, it's like, people are like, will he show up in, Avengers? Far From Home, Avengers, and I'm like,
I don't think so.
No, he won't.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if he did, and I wouldn't mind it.
Maybe Spider-Man 3.
Who knows?
With Kraven the Hunter. Let's hope.
Sure. So that does it. That's in the works. Hopefully we'll have more news on that very soon.
For sure. Moving on, we have some more Marvel news. We got a couple of Marvel trailers that I watched.
But I didn't.
And why was that?
Well, because I decided from the Captain Marvel trailer, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. I saw enough. I'm like, you know what? This is enough for me to be like, all right, I get what this movie's sort of going for. I'm in. And then the Avengers, it's because I want to know as little as possible. And I've done that for the last two Avengers movies. In fact, Infinity War, I didn't see any trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is, like, the trailer is basically given away to you just inevitably through, like, searching through the web because of, like, thumbnails.
Right.
So I figure I'll just have that given away to me. But I want to know as little as possible because it's just such a big event, and I just don't want to know.
I definitely sympathize with that approach, and it's probably the best one, to be honest, as far as, I can't tell you how many times I've been inundated with just TV spots and set photos and bullshit, and it dampens the film. That's
what I mean. It's something like, if there's something I can go out of my way to not watch it, it's hard to do with a lot of movies. Like, sometimes I give up. Like, Spider-Man in the Spider-Verse, since I'm sort of looking forward to it, but it's not, like, super anticipated. I'm like, fuck it. I'll just watch TV spots. Don't care. Mm-hmm. But with this, it's different because it's such a huge culmination event.
Right.
And it's something this big to know so little, like, to go in almost blind, that would be really cool to me.
I'm a little bit more shocked for you with Captain Marvel, because I know that was a movie for you that I remember you saying you wanted to see a little bit more from. Was that the same sort of rationale, or are you already sold on Captain Marvel?
I kind of wanted to see more, but I figure, well, then why not just wait for the movie, dummy? Mm-hmm. And now I'm going to skirt around the spoilers of the trailers by asking you questions. Mm-hmm. Okay, so without saying too much... So there's the two groups of Avengers in Infinity War. Mm-hmm. You got like Tony and his crew, and then what I call the Rogue Avengers, mm-hmm. i.e. the cooler ones. Mm-hmm. Does it seem like the Rogue Avengers are going to get a little more screen time based on what you saw in the trailer?
Well, considering the fact that, spoilers, not for this movie, for the last one, most of the Rogue Avengers are like most of the people that are still alive. Yeah. Meaning, what is it?
Black
Falcon,
Black Widow, Falcon, all the OG Avengers.
Yeah, but like, so I will say yes, because like there's still Thor, there's still Iron Man, and that's about it, right? Or did Rhodey not die?
Scott Lang's still alive. Ant-Man.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're not missing much with this trailer, and that's not to say it's bad. I'm just saying they do a pretty, they show a lot of restraint.
Okay.
In the trailer. So
do you see any battle sequences?
I want to say no.
Not really. Okay.
Kind of not at all. Like there's one scene where you see like a character standing, and like maybe a battle just happened, but probably not. Like I don't think so. Like there's not really much at all.
So some epic standing and no action.
Epic
sounds
standing,
like a really cool trailer, huh?
Epic voiceover and some imagery. It's like looks. I mean, I'm gonna see this movie as
purpley
is.
Blues.
There's a lot of greens, like deep greens and like teals.
I like that.
Yeah, it looks
changing
pretty
up
good.
The palette. That's always good.
Yeah, that was
because like purple and blue were pretty much the colors of the day with. Well, a good chunk at least of
Infinity War.
And
there was a lot of like sepia ass, like when they're on the one fucking planet when the Guardians and them are fighting Thanos with Doctor Strange and Iron Man.
Right. Okay, so with Captain Marvel, just this one question: do you see more Skrulls?
Yes.
Oh, do you?
You do see more Skrulls, and you get a little bit more of a sense of Carol Danvers, or. She talks more.
Any sense at all?
That's my biggest problem with this trailer is like, okay, so without spoiling anything, like you get a sense of who Tony Stark is. Like, okay, this guy's kind of a smartass in the trailer. Or like Cap, it's like this guy's like a plucky, like, good old American guy. Or Doctor Strange, like this guy's kind of a kind of a smartass. He's basically Tony Stark. But
he's like even worse. He's like a completely arrogant bastard.
Yeah, he's like not a good guy. Star-Lord, like this guy's kind of hot shit, he thinks,
He's a cocky, he's a rabble rouser.
Right.
Or a rebel.
A rebel, yeah. I don't know, man. I'm not getting any signs of life from Brie Larson's character yet. I don't see a defining personality trait other than just like generic, like I'm not who you think I am. I'm gonna save the day. Like I feel like that's like the complaint that a lot of people had with Henry Cavill's Clark Kent and Man of Steel is like the problem I'm getting from this. It's like super fucking stoic. Like I can't tell. I can't gather anything from her character. Like she just seems very kind of wooden. And that's just from what I've seen. That's not me saying, oh, this movie's gonna suck. It's like the trailer didn't really give me much.
You need a little more.
You need a little more. And I'm hoping as always hoping I'm wrong. And I probably will be. I bet the movie will be fine.
Yeah, but I told you before, that's kind of the format they have used for a couple of other characters. Mm-hmm. Doctor Strange, you really don't get much idea of a character from him, other than the voiceover.
Mm-hmm. T'Challa, man. That's one of the ones that people I think kind of gets a pass. He doesn't really have much of a personality in Black Panther, except for like the scenes where he's with Shuri.
I think he has personality. I would say the trailer didn't show it very much.
I just meant he's just kind of like, I don't know. He's kind of just like I don't know. Like, what's his defining trait?
No, I mean, I've heard this before because everyone's like, M'Baku's cool because he's like brash and loud and like Killmonger's like, he's sort of like angry and like serious or whatever.
Yeah. Shuri's
Shuri's a jokester.
Yeah, and even
And
like
Okoye's just like, she's just, I don't know, she's just cool.
Yeah, she's just cool and like she's kind of like wary but like not afraid to kick ass.
She's dutiful.
Yeah.
She cares about doing her job.
And T'Challa's the protagonist.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's just that's not he's not my if I'm picking like if I'm drafting Marvel MCU protagonists, it's like Tony Stark, Steve Rogers, who else?
I'm gonna go War Machine just because Don Cheadle is just good at everything.
Right. Spidey. It's like there's not much else other than that. Like maybe Scott Lang. Like
I got.
No, I don't like his movies that much. Like as much as the other MCU movies. But
no, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, I'm not getting a whole lot from Captain Marvel.
All right, so moving right along, the trailers apparently they both look pretty good.
Yeah, not horrible.
All right, next story. Not horrible. That's
resounding endorsement.
Yeah. Let's see. Next up, Standoff at Sparrow Creek trailer. It's a trailer we saw for a movie coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, lordy. This movie looks quite good. This is, it's directed and written by a guy named Henry Dunham, and it's set to be released on video on demand, digital HD, and in theaters January 18th.
Yes, and it tells the story of a former cop turned militiaman who investigates a shooting at a police funeral. It stars James Badge Dale, who's kind of like not a that guy, but sort of
pretty much a that guy.
He was in like Iron Man 3 and like the Lone Ranger and like a bunch of stuff. He's got a lot of credits, but this trailer, man, talk about doing a lot by doing very little.
Yeah,
like so. There's like barely any sound in this.
There's barely any score, and there's the thing of the focus on the militia. I found really interesting.
Right.
Don't know a whole lot of movies that really deal with that.
It's a whodunit, essentially.
It's a mix of a whodunit and a brewing gunfight.
Yeah.
I like movies like that where it's kind of when the slow burn is done right, which this looks like that's the approach it's going with.
Kind of like a Hell or High Water, where it's like it all comes to a huge head.
It all comes down to one thing, but it's like the setting and the characters and the situation that lead to that, that one moment, rather than something where it's like there's really not enough story to go off of, and then it's like just get to the fucking ending. This looks like the build up between, the infighting between the militia characters. There's a lot of tension there.
Yeah, and
and then of course there's the police side of this.
Yeah, and oh man, I just loved how minimalist the trailer was.
Yeah,
and it's minimalism done right because it's like this is minimalism in trailer making and movie making that you can get away with because the circumstances themselves of the film, like of the story, are like scary enough to where you're like you don't really need to do much. Like if you do nothing, it'll actually help the movie more. Like no music. Like very quiet, like very desolate looking images. Like it's gonna freak the audience out. And I was like, it was an intense trailer.
I feel like this is gonna be one of those movies where like the first inevitable shot that pops off,
it's gonna freak you out.
It's gonna freak everyone out, but you're also gonna be like, you kind of see it coming, but it's not exact. You like almost forget. Oh shit! This is what this movie's gonna do. It's like It's like. After all, this is what was inevitably going to happen.
God, yeah, I was really, because you showed me the trailer and like I saw that it was RLJE and I was like,
oh shit! Thanks for reminding me, Robert. God,
I didn't even look at the trailer.
Well, hold on. It's not truly RLJE.
It's RLJE and XYZ.
It was bought by RLJE.
Yes.
And XYZ, mind you, has done some good work.
Did they also do Mile 22?
Ooh.
They're not infallible, but they have made some of the greatest action movies of late.
Yeah. Mile 22 is going to be on our adjusted score end of the year thing.
Oh boy.
Because I've decided it sucks. that's worse than, like, I was defending it a little too much. But anyway, back to this trailer. Looks pretty rad. XYZ does some good stuff. Am I crazy? Like, XYZ did fucking Raid.
They did Raid. They did. I was also wrong. They did not do Mile 22.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But they did do Mandy, and they did The Night Comes for Us.
Which, as I said, if you literally, I'm not even joking, people. If you want to see awesome fight scenes, just skip all the talking parts, but just watch all the fight scenes, because I'm not even joking. They are that good.
And they also did Apostle.
Ugh. Okay, so XYZ, they've done some stuff.
They've done a lot of good stuff. They've done some not so good stuff, and some stuff in between.
Yeah.
So this could be anything, but if the trailer lets us know, it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, I would say so.
Alrighty, well, moving on to our next story.
We have a new segment for this next news story. People, it's time for... Is It Bullshit? Yes, that's right, folks. It's time for the first edition of Is It Bullshit? It's simple, really. We take a news story and determine whether it's telling the truth or telling a lie. And of course, we're talking about the proposed title of the Birds of Prey movie. Mm-hmm. So we all kind of figured, like, what would it be called? Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey seemed like the obvious choice.
Yeah.
But apparently they're saying it's something much different, and I thought that there's no way this is true. It's, the full title is apparently, officially confirmed by Warner Brothers and Margot Robbie to be Birds of Prey, parentheses, and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm. So, Margot Robbie claims this is true. Mm-hmm. She said it a couple places. What's your take on this? Do you think that there's yanking our chain?
I take their word for it. Only because I feel like this is their way of addressing the popular complaint of ours, which is that, why the fuck is Harley Quinn in this? So this is their thing of saying, okay, we get it. She's not a regular Birds of Prey person.
Why have it be called Birds of Prey at all then?
Well, there you go. I mean, that's the real fucking question. But
yeah.
I get why they put this in the title. I mean, it's better than... Well, not better, but it's like Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey. It's like, eh.
You know what I'm going to do when I go to the movie theater just to trip them up? You know, it's like when you see like Mummy whatever, like Mummy Returns, like one for Mummy, they know what you mean. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be like, one for Emancipation. Like, one for...
Fantabulous?
Yeah. One for Fantabulous.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Just give me the fucking superhero ticket.
The first thing I thought of when I saw this was I thought it was a parody of Birdman's title.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's Birdman or the Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, right? Is that what it is?
Something like that. And apparently she said she liked Margot Robbie said she liked the title this long because she liked some movie called The Man Who Fell Out of the Window 100 Years. What the fuck is it called?
100-year-old man who climbed out a window and disappeared.
Yes. And I was like, but that was all about the 100-year-old man. Mm-hmm. This is like something else. Oh, by the way, we're tagging this on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's a very good title, but I think
it's a totally stupid title, and I'm tired of the ass kissing. Like, I thought about it. It's actually kind of fun. It's like, shut up. No, it's not. I mean, I guess it's fun, but it's like it's too stupid, and it's sort of reminiscent of the newer Harley Quinn comics that I don't like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely think this is going to be the title, but I don't think it's going to be like the title.
I almost don't. I'm like, it's so stupid. I think
it's going to be like Birdman.
I have to see it on paper.
Well, that's what I mean. It's going to be like,
if they do go this route, then that, I don't know, like maybe we're making much ado about nothing, just like talking too much about a title, but is it really? Because if they're going this route, that to me kind of screams out that this is going to be not only just not a serious movie, not that it really seemed like it was, but it seems like it kind of reeks of try too hard.
Well, half of it does.
Yeah.
The title, at least. I mean, the first part of the title is like Birds of Prey. You're like, okay, cool. That's like, it like, they're fighting and shit?
Yeah, but it's like the excuse I heard was something along the lines of, well, it's not, or Margot Robbie was saying, it's not a very serious movie, so we didn't want a serious title. And I said, yeah, but still.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like, like directly hilarious about Tommy Boy.
Right. Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like, Tommy Boy, the title. It's not, I don't know. I don't know if I buy that excuse. And I'm partly convinced this is like the Untitled Deadpool sequel thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought this was at first. Everyone's like, this is the title. I'm like, no, it's not. That's bullshit. Can't be. It's like the Deadpool thing. They went back on it. Mm-hmm. But you never know.
Could happen. I my money's on it being the title. But I think it'll be like Birdman, where it's like, yeah, Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance is the title, but no one fucking calls it that. It's Birdman. I think they're going to end up calling this Birds of Prey.
I think I just have issue with using fantabulous in a title. It's like, what the hell is this bullshit?
You can't, that's not a word, guys. Is it officially a word?
That's like being like, Batman and the Nartastic Journey with Plastic Man, brah. It's like...
You'd fucking watch that.
I would. especially
you just sold
if it's
that movie to me, you fucker. God damn it.
Was it the bra at the end that really tied it together?
It was the bra, but god damn it, it was the Nartastic.
Nartastic?
They should have just used Nartastic instead of Fantabulous.
Yeah, I should have used a dumber word. Yeah, why don't you put your money where your mouth's at? Make it an even more stupid title. Like, Birds of Prey and this crazy clown who throws pies and shit. Who gives a fuck? You're going to see it anyway.
I want to see Leonard Maltin say this fucking shit. And the Nartastic punching of clowns and birds. Oh, man.
Now, this is really going to confuse.
Who? Oh, the 55-year-old dads?
55-year-old dads are going to have a hard time with this.
Is this a Dr. Seuss movie?
Fantabulous. What are you going to have? Wockets in the pockets, too? Yeah. What is this bullshit?
Oh, my God. Anyhow.
Got anything else to say about that?
No, that's...
So final juries. You have to choose one extreme or the other. I'm going to go with yes, it's bullshit. And you're saying no.
I say no.
All right, you know what? Time will tell. Man. All right, moving on to the next story. Okay, I like this one. MTV is resurrecting Celebrity Deathmatch. Ice Cube is set to star and produce. So the series, which originally ran from, 98 to 2001, correct?
Thereabouts.
Okay, thereabouts. It was the claymation show where they basically had celebrities fight each other in a wrestling ring, and it was one of the greatest things ever made.
It's a pretty goddamn good show, and
because what they have like Jim Carrey versus Mariah Carey, or some other one. They had a team death match in robots with NSYNC versus the Beastie Boys.
Right. You had Dolly Parton versus Jennifer Lopez, Ice Cube versus Ice-T.
That was one of my favorites, Ice Cube, Ice-T.
Mel Gibson versus Paul Hogan, Martin Scorsese versus Oliver Stone. This is just Bill Clinton versus Ken Starr. Ron Jeremy versus Tommy Lee. Like, these are just some of them. Like, it's great. Carrot Top versus Dennis Miller.
I think you know what? It's about due time that a show like this comes back.
Yeah, and I definitely mess with Ice Cube starring and producing. Is he going to host the show?
That's what I don't get. Is I imagine he's gonna. What is he going to be, like a Vince McMahon character who
Perhaps.
like sometimes gets in? I can't imagine he's not going to get in tangles.
Right. That would be interesting.
Yeah, there's one thing where they're like, this might be nothing, but the guy was describing. He's like, it's going to be a new smart version. I'm like, no, it's not. I mean, he's like,
please don't
don't say it's going to be smart. I just want some goofy bullshit and like completely outlandish claymation violence.
Yeah. And there's another interesting wrinkle in this story that we looked at. I guess this series is going to feature weekly installments on either a network partner in 2019 or SVOD.
So what they're saying is if it's not good enough to get to a network, they're like, fuck it, we'll just put it on some streaming thing.
Judging by the kind of programming that MTV and all its affiliates has on nowadays, I would bet
I
it's
wouldn't
going
say
to be
all
on
its
SVOD.
affiliates, because...
Well, I mean, like MTV2 and like...
Oh, okay, because I was going to say,
VH1.
if you meant Viacom, that's a large...
Oh, no, I meant like all the ancillary...
They're
like
Viacom, right?
MTV 8 The Ocho.
MTV 8,
Yeah.
the Ocho. Oh, you mean MTV 2.
Yeah.
Not your cup of tea.
No, but I'll definitely be interested in seeing it. And the first bead we get on a trailer, you'll be hearing from us.
Oh, most definitely. This is one to watch out for because this was one of those shows like it was one of those things like South Park when you're like little and you're watching like, holy crap, I can't believe this is on TV.
Yeah.
Like this is there like you get an extra bit of joy at watching it because it's just like it's not, it's so crass.
It's naughty.
Yeah, exactly. This was one of those shows where I just got a little extra delight out of watching. And interestingly enough, this is where I first learned that Ice-T was a person.
Really?
Well, because I saw the match Ice Cube versus Ice-T, and I'm like, Ice-T? And I thought it was like just a joke, and they like made up a character, That's how I first learned about Ice-T. So the show is not only inspirational and entertaining, it's also educational.
That's true. Let's hope it'll carry on that tradition.
Agreed. So that'll do it. Moving on, we've got some video game news.
Speaking of animated characters beating the Christ out of each other.
Yeah. The Mortal Kombat 11 trailer is upon us, and really it's just Raiden and Scorpion fighting, but it's a really, really awesome fight.
Oh, as per the usual.
Is that gameplay? Like some of it?
I think it's cinematic. Those are the cinematics from the game, but
it kind of looks like when you like hit the trigger moves.
Yeah. Some of it might be, or those might be some of the X-ray moves, like the X-ray cinematic moves.
That's kind of what I figured. It looks like it's part of the gameplay. I have no idea for sure. I don't get what's all with all Raiden wearing red. I'm like, he wears blue, damn it.
Yeah, at the end of the last game, Mortal Kombat X, so spoilers for those. He kills Shinnok, and he gets like part of Shinnok's. Oh God, I think it's his orb or something. He gets an artifact from Shinnok, and he kind of becomes, how do you say? He becomes like, well, if I'm not gonna fix, or if I can't rely on anybody except for myself, I'm gonna have to fix the universe myself, sort of deal, where he's gonna become judge, jury, and executioner. Raiden.
Okay, I got you. So he's like Judge Dredd, but Raiden.
Kind of like what they did with Superman in the Injustice games over at NetherRealm.
Oh yeah,
like,
which are also amazing.
Yeah,
that's the thing is like I gotta say, if there's one type of game I try to still play, it's fighting games, man. Those are always have been my jam. Although, unfortunately, since I don't own any of these, I didn't know the story.
Yeah, and
I just hope they weren't doing some bullshit like Liu Kang's dead and he's a zombie. Like that was, that was the last time I played them where I like paid attention to the story. Was that Deception or Deadly Alliance?
Somewhere.
The one that had the edema was the band.
Yeah.
I know who you are. You know who I am. You can't kill me. I'm immortal. Or whatever the fuck that song was.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. Yeah,
that was back when Sum 41 and bands like them were still cool.
Those were the days, man. Sorta.
Kinda.
I played through the past two installments of these two games.
Like the stories?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat X. Really good stuff. And, story, it's like, that you're just there to see some cool fighting and punchery and pugilism and mutilation and such.
Yes.
I'm
mostly there for the blood and guts.
Yes, and I'm certain if this trailer's any indication, I think this game will deliver that.
All right. I think there's not really a lot to go off of in this trailer necessarily. Just basically Raiden's, he is the law.
Yeah.
Just like Stallone and Judge Dredd. So that's that. We've got another video game story, though. Well, this is all premiering at, what, the
Game Awards.
Game Awards, right. We got a game coming up. It is called Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch in 2019. No, exclusively for the Switch in 2019 is not part of the title. Just kidding. It is just Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3: The Black Order.
All right.
So, when it comes to some video games,
Oh, man.
as you know, the pugilism type is one of my favorites. Mm-hmm. Action adventure is another good kind, but I love a good whatever the hell this sub is. It's like RPG.
Action role playing, we'll say. Like
Yeah.
The like, I don't even know, like the oblique angle, like over the top angle, like fighter games.
It's not exactly like fighter. It's not quite beat 'em up.
Yeah, like the guys who made X-Men.
I know there's some word for it. Like
yeah,
aren't the Zelda games technically this genre?
I'd say they're definitely way more RPG, but they a lot
You know
of the
what I mean?
gameplay
It's
is super similar.
It's like, not like turn based, but you have to do things like get items.
Action,
and yeah.
This is definitely along those lines. And have you played any of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
I played the first one, and I've played the X-Men Legends 2, which is one of my favorite games.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance, god damn it, it's so freaking awesome. I love that game so much. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 for me was a massive disappointment, but it's not horrible. It's just not what it could have been.
What was wrong with 2?
It was a different developer, and I think they just kind of missed a lot of the magic and it just felt like they were trying to do 1 again. Like it didn't really do anything new aside from like a couple things. Like they tried to do like fusion powers where like characters can like combine their powers together, which was actually pretty cool. But beyond that,
it's like fusion, like the Dragon Ball Z,
right.
but with the Wolverine and Luke Cage,
right? But beyond that, it wasn't much in terms of story or anything. But what's interesting is that this third game, this is the first game, the first Marvel Ultimate Alliance game that's coming out. That's like it's coming out alongside a world that has an MCU. So like Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2 came out in 2009, which was like that was when the MCU was in its infancy and not really anybody knew what the hell it was.
Yeah.
So now you start to see they're in this trailer, like all the characters are kind of reflections of their MCU counterparts. Like Rocket Raccoon sounds like the Bradley Cooper, whatever.
Or the fact that they started off with the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, and the Black Order is there, and we just had Infinity War happen.
Yeah. When like Star-Lord and like Gamora on her best day was maybe a B character if you're reading comics in the 90s.
Right. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but now they're all A-list. Yeah. Well, that's the other thing is you got the Guardians, but you also have like Sentinels and X-Men and Spider-Man and like Sandman fighting Captain America and
Apocalypse and
it's like it's weird. Like whenever I read comics or when I see this game or this trailer, I'm so used to the movies, but you have to remember, oh yeah, that's right. All of these characters do coexist in one place, and this game looks like a fantastic place to explore that more.
It's also got a new developer. It's actually this franchise has changed hands developer-wise every time, and this is no exception. This third installment, Team Ninja is developing this, and they of course are famous for developing the Ninja Gaiden series, as well as the Dead or Alive fighting game series. So if that's any indication as to how the combat / pugilism will go down, I've got some faith in it. I would say I've definitely got some faith in it. The trailer looks really fun. Everything on the Switch in the past year has been pretty goddamn good as far as like AAA releases go.
That was another thing. I was surprised that it's exclusively for the Switch.
Right.
And I will go ahead and say that pretty much solidifies that when I go looking for a new game system, that's it. Like I've been thinking about getting a Switch. This plus the new Smash is out.
Yeah.
That came out like as of this podcast like a day or two ago.
This week, yeah.
Or was it? Hold on, look that up. It might have been today.
I think it was either this past Tuesday or
it was not long ago.
Yeah, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate came out today, December 7th, Friday.
Interesting. Now, this new one, I saw a weird trailer where it kind of reminded me of Infinity War.
Yeah, they're all getting zapped. Yeah.
Okay, but back to this Marvel game. It's one of those things. It's great to see all of the characters back together in one sandbox.
Right.
No Fox, Sony, whatever.
Tomfoolery.
Yeah, none of that.
No gerrymandering.
And I feel like that affected Marvel Capcom 3.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people are up in arms about. But obviously that's not the case here. And it's so delightful to see Wolverine like hacking up a Sentinel, but you're also getting the Guardians of the Galaxy in one place.
That is definitely a sight to see. If
Right.
you haven't seen the trailer already, that is.
That's the other thing is like I feel like a lot of games, like Marvel games, they'll always kind of lean heavy on certain like a select group of characters, and I feel like this seems like it's the most like widespread net to sort of catch all the Marvel characters, or at least all the really important ones, but also a lot of lesser known ones as well.
Yeah, and I think this will be I don't know, if my money's on it, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I've got high hopes for this. That'd be one way of putting it. And hopefully I will soon get a Nintendo Switch, and perhaps I'll review it once I get this game.
What the hell is that?
Jingle bells, man.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what are you, crazy? Do you not know what month it is?
It's December, and that means...
Lots of holiday and Christmas movies.
For first,
yes. We are going to be reviewing
The Princess Switch, we reviewed. It's a holiday movie on Netflix. It says it's on Netflix. You could have swore it was on Hallmark first. Or
I'm not
Hallmark.
gonna lie, I'm sort of baffled that Princess Switch is a Netflix original. I
Yeah.
really thought it's what's the word? It's a spiritual companion to many a Hallmark and or what's it? Lifetime.
Yeah, let's try all of them. It's
Yeah.
a spiritual
It's a
companion
spiritual
to every
companion
single
to-
fucking movie ever made on. Also Oxygen.
Nah, I definitely felt more of the Lifetime movie vibe.
Lifetime,
Anyway.
a little bit, well, a lot of bit of Hallmark, or Hallmark movies and mysteries.
Yeah.
If you get that channel,
But in its own way, it's also a Netflix movie, and I'll explain that in a little bit.
yeah. But what's
So-
this movie about? It's about a Chicago baker played by Vanessa Hudgens, who is competing in a Christmas baking competition in Belgravia. No, that's not a country, idiot. There she bumps into the prince's fiancé. They look exactly alike, and they plan to switch for 2 days because life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans. That's the plot synopsis.
Well-
is that the tagline for this movie?
I don't know, but it's a brilliant film.
Oh, man.
It really subverts expectations.
Oh, man.
I could not have plotted it out even if I tried. All right, so that's
Which of those statements is a truth?
Here.
Is two truths and one's a lie?
okay. So let me just I'll put it in their words. I was kidding, as you know, because I like to be sarcastic and lie about stuff. Because clearly those things aren't true. Get what I'm doing?
Yes.
I'm using heavy use of exposition.
Come on, Robert. You know me. I'm
Come- yeah, yeah.
sarcastic. We've known each other for 5 years and 3 months and 2
come
days.
on, Robert. Remember when we met at film school? You know me. I like to joke about things, especially about Netflix movies that feel like they're either Lifetime or Hallmark Channel movies.
So a little bit of background,
No,
man.
but okay, but
Dear God, every holiday, my mom puts on Hallmark Channel. And by holiday, I mean November 1st to like January, whenever the fuck the Epiphany is,
Man,
the 7th. That's how long.
starts early.
That's how long Hallmark's holiday thing is. And they play movies like, there's probably 18 movies exactly like this. There's one with Candace Cameron.
Yeah.
There's a couple others. They're the same fucking movie every year.
right, and they all use, as I was just making fun of,
The tropes.
extremely no, not even just the tropes.
Expository.
Extremely expository dialogue, like really clunky, like bad, like hit you in the face, like. You know, Margaret, I'm going to say things that are super obvious to you, but just in case someone's like following us around with cameras,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
like,
man.
it's It's like, I want one of them to just one time be like, it's almost like you're saying this as if a camera's looking at us. Why would you say such weird, obvious things?
For the audience.
Yeah. All right, so we start off, she's a baker, right? Mm-hmm. And she's too busy to have fun or whatever the hell, or like do the competition. But then she runs into a rival who they don't really show her being enough of a jerk for you to truly hate enough. So that was strike one.
And she runs into her ex-boyfriend who's got a new girlfriend, and she's like, what are you guys doing? Or the girlfriend's like, what are you guys doing for the holiday? And she's like, I'm going to the baking competition. I'm like, we got ourselves a movie.
Whoa, yeah, because you're like, she wouldn't do that. She doesn't want to go to the baking competition.
Whoa.
And all of a sudden, your expectations are blown out of the water because she decides she's going to go to that baking contest. That's right.
You could say Vanessa Hudgens is breaking free, soaring, flying, if you will, a la High School Musical, because she gets in a plane.
Yeah. I just want to also point out, she has a hat that just says Chicago.
Who the fucking Chicago wears a hat with the city name on it? Like, come on, man. At least just get a Cubs hat. Like no one says that. Like, guess where this was filmed?
I think they're like, they showed the movie to each team and got a resounding no.
We got to reshoot this scene.
They're like, hold on. They're like execs who are like meeting with like Rocky Wirtz. He's like, here, can I take your picture? He's like, yeah, bye. He's like, never let them in this building again. But anyway, it's like, what kills me about that is like, they probably had to like wardrobe test that, you know, like go in for like costume fittings or like whatever. And it's like the person in charge of this movie is like, yeah, that looks about
That's what
right.
People wear around here, right?
Yeah, right.
They just wear hats with the city's name on it.
Yeah, if you're like visiting from like, I don't know where.
Like if you're a tourist.
Yeah.
Or if you're like in like fucking Nashville or like Atlanta and you're from Chicago, like you wear something that's like from Chicago, but even that shit doesn't say the word Chicago on it. It's either like a Cubs logo or a Bears logo or fucking ooh.
No, yeah. So there's that.
The magical old man who tells her what to do and guides her on her way. Magical Christmas man, old man.
He's in Belgravia, though.
He's in Belgravia, too, with the British accent.
So we arrived to Belgravia, and I guess this place is like everyone's British or whatever, but not really.
You know what's weird is like they very randomly are just like, everything's like a fairy tale there. And I'm like, what? And then they like show up at the house and they're like, look, it's the girl's house from the Nutcracker. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, is that supposed to look like something? Like, I don't think there was this, like, it's not like the Amityville Horror House where it's like, that's the fucking Amityville Horror House.
That's the Freddy Krueger house with the red door. No.
That's the Home Alone house. It's not like, it's like
that's the Kane from Citizen Kane.
Yeah, it's like.
In The Simpsons.
Yeah, it's like.
There was no Kane in that movie.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, sure, I guess that's the Nutcracker house. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead in.
No, I get what you're saying. I guess that's
a gripe. That's a quibble.
I just want to say, though, it's like, I feel like overall, my problem with this movie is, and this is so Netflix of them, it didn't go dumb enough. That's my problem. Is like, there's a lot, don't get me wrong, there's a lot dumb with this movie that was enjoyably stupid. But sometimes I'm like, come on, a little more.
You know what's weird?
Like, they needed more magical, weird people. Because, like, Belgravia, it's like, this one guy's magic. And you're like, oh, so this is like some rip-off North Pole. And it's like, not really. It's just like a bunch of weird aristocrats who live in this, like, weird, like, wannabe, like, Swiss-looking town, I guess.
Also, did you notice the Wembley Studios? Did you notice what the fuck that was? It was like Wembley Studios. I'm like, I wrote down LOL. You mean Rush University Hospital, you fucking plebeians?
Yeah.
It's fucking Rush University Hospital with the words Wembley Studios, like so fucking like horrifically like rotoscoped on. I'm like, dear God.
Yeah.
So you made the note that this movie doesn't go hard enough, and I completely agree. And I compared this movie to a bad drug. So you know why that is?
How so?
The first 20 minutes were like pure ecstasy. Yeah. And it's like the weirdest drug experience in the world because like all of a sudden you become like tolerant immediately to it like after the first 20 minutes.
Stupidity, like especially what is it like so what are you doing? I'm going to the contest. You're like, yes, it's one of these movies.
Yes, but I feel like as soon as we get to Belgravia, the movie like So I'll say this. I gave Abby the title, just the title of the fucking movie, and she got the plot of this movie to like 85 percentile.
Yeah, that's like you know that movie The Proposal.
Exactly.
Except that looked like just bad, like not funny bad, like that just looked like shit.
Right.
It's like I literally figured it out from the poster. It's like, let me guess. Sandra Bullock is his boss, and they have to get married, and they hate each other.
She's all tough and
she's all harumphy, and he's
all Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm funny and charming and Canadian. And
I haven't seen The Proposal, but audience members out there,
and then
do they get together?
Sandra Bullock's like, yeah, exactly. She's like, I'm all harumphy, but really I'm like,
come here, Ryan Reynolds.
I'm like pretty and nice and normal when you get to know me. And then, yeah.
Oops, we bumped into each other and we're both naked. Foreshadowing.
Whoa, yeah.
Betty White's here.
Yeah,
it's just like Jesus. But I wanted it to go harder in the paint, if you will.
Oh, with this?
Yes.
See, that's kind of what I was hoping for. Also, I just want to point out, so they get there. We meet the princess, right? And she's got, well, it's Vanessa Hudgens. Oh my God, I couldn't tell. She's just so good at acting. Let's talk about weirdest career trajectory ever. Okay. Here's one of the things off the top of my head that I can name with her in it. High School Musical is like an obvious choice,
For
right?
sure.
Sucker Punch. So one of Zack Snyder's like, to say it'd be divisive is,
it's like, well, it's not saying much. That's most of his movies.
What else is new? And then Spring Breakers.
Yes.
And now this. And weirdly enough, I feel like this is somehow a step up from at least Spring Breakers and Sucker Punch.
Maybe a little bit. It's definitely this one's definitely a 4-quadrant movie.
Yeah. It's your standard 4-quadrant movie.
Right.
But back to her being from Chicago, lack of a Chicago accent.
Yes.
What is this bullshit? She's like, oh yes, I have to get back to Chicago.
Chicago.
It's Chicago, you ass munch.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, they also missed a golden opportunity for her to use her Chicago accent. And it would have been perfect.
Belgravia.
Yeah, no, because she decides to switch places. Prince and the Pauper, classic, obvious ripoff. So she switches with the Princess of Belgravia. There's a point where she's like getting on the horse because she's with the prince guy, and it's like, oh, do you need help getting on the horse? She's like, oh no, I'm quite fine. And then like gets on, and then she vaults over it and like lands on her back, and I'm like, this would have been a perfect time for her to be like, my ass. Like,
oh.
Yeah, like, god damn it, my back. Fell right on my fell right on my ass. God damn it.
My coccyx broke. My bowl of sausage broke in my pocket.
Holy crap, that hurt.
Oh, Wakanda, that hurt.
Exactly. They missed a golden opportunity to be like, what was that? And she'd be like, oh no, oh goodness, my bum hurts.
Here's another thing. What the fuck is the reason why the switch happens?
It's like,
I know why it is, but I want to see if you remember.
It was like, oh, I want to know what it's like to be one of you lowly peons.
What the fuck? Like, I was listening to that, and I'm like, it was like, I felt like I was in a pitch meeting. It's like, well, I just want to get to know the people more. And I'm like, that's a shitty reason. Next reason.
Yeah.
That's the only reason?
But
never mind, fuck you, movie.
Isn't that how it goes in the original Prince and the Pauper? He's like, I want to be one of the Philistines.
I don't know.
He's just like, I want to see what it's like to be one of the lowlies. It's lonely at the top, okay?
Yeah.
Remember, there's just all these perfectly set up plot holes, like she doesn't like her pictures being taken. So
they can't be in the same place at once at the toy store.
Apparently, like, even though she's a royal, like,
no one knows what the fuck she looks like.
Right, because what's her name? Like, the cabbie almost hits her.
Yeah.
And he isn't like.
Oh, I almost just hit your soon-to-be wife, sir. Sorry.
No, he almost hits Vanessa Hudgens.
Yeah.
Or what the hell? Do these characters have names?
Stacy DeNovo, and the other one's name is what is it? Margaret Delacourt.
Okay, so I'm gonna take a guess and say Stacy DeNovo from Chicago.
Yeah, DeNovo, Polish sausage.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so Stacy almost gets hit by a car, and like they're walking through town, and like not a single person in this town knows what the hell Margaret looks like.
Mm-hmm. I guess not.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she doesn't like having her pictures taken. I'm like, that's so convenient.
Isn't that a convenient thing to have happen for this movie?
It's like having an action movie where it's like you really badly want a fist fight, and as we are fond of pugilism, and we say that word often. We've probably said it about 20 times this episode. Anyway, so you really want a pugilism match, and it's like they're fighting, and it's like, oh no, a gigantic magnet came and took all our guns. It's the amount of like contrivance, like it's the amount of contrivances.
Yeah.
That they use in order to make the plot work. And see, that's the classic like hallmark. Like, all right, this is fun, but it's the lack of the my ass. That's like the stuff. I was like, come on, she's from Chicago. Play that up a little.
See, that's why I tapped out, and I wrote, I'm like, as I was watching, I'm like, this is an appalling example of why cliches and tropes sometimes just don't work, especially when they're either used too often or relied upon exclusively without any self-awareness. So, like, you ever seen that Lifetime movie with Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig?
Will Ferrell was in a Lifetime movie?
And Kristen Wiig, where they have they adopt a daughter that's like a murderer. It's like totally tongue-in-cheek, but it's hilarious because it's stupid. But like that, but like not as overt would have been great. Like if they went into this movie saying like, this is gonna suck. Let's just have fun with it. Say whatever, improv every line, fuck it. I would have been like, okay, at least I'm having fun, but like, god damn it, the middle act and the last act, I was like, you know what happened?
What's that?
I started doodling.
Are you serious?
I was drawing.
You hated it that much?
I was drawing. I haven't drawn in 4 years.
Wow.
I was like, I'm just gonna draw.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's how Robert rages. when you've really chapped his ass, he starts to doodle.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna draw. And I didn't even know I was doing it. And I'm like, oh fuck, I have to like kind of rewind it. And then I like rewound it like 5 minutes, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I think I know what happens. I'm gonna go back. But yeah,
all right,
dear God.
And then we got the classic. Oh, well, fuck it. I guess we've been spoiling it.
They fall in love with each other's people that they're not in love with. Like,
yeah, because it's like Stacy's pretending to be Margaret, but she likes the prince.
And Margaret likes Stacy's friend. And, you know, they're all like, Stacy's like, how could you fall in love with my best friend? He's such a stick in the mud. And, like, Margaret's like, how could you fall in love with the prince? He's such a wet blanket. Well, that's just, what the fuck is this shitty the thing for this movie? You make plans and life happens. It's like,
hey man, she made plans to go to this this cooking
fictitious country,
which matters almost nil to the plot until the very third act.
The evil villain like comes and like commits a crime, like breaks and enters into the fucking soundstage, and like snips her fucking hand mixer or some bullshit.
I love how like. It's like, that'll show her. It's like, in real life, wouldn't she just show up and be like, oh, fuck, I gotta get a new one. Hey, this Belgravia place has, like, hand mixers, right? Yeah.
We're actually the world's top exporter in hand mixers.
Yeah, it's like, gee, I don't know. No, this baking competition doesn't have any extras. Oh, gee, that's a shame. No, it's like, yeah, here, just give me, like, $30 and I'll get a new one. Okay, great. Wow, what a moron. Whoever thought of that, I sure hope they feel stupid because I'm totally going to win this contest still. But anyway, also favorite trope, the little kid figures it out, the wisdom of the youngins.
Oh, man. The kids know best.
It's like, God, there was that. Also related to the, like, they fall for each other's, like, dudes or whatever. Mm-hmm. I love how both the guys at the end are like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm okay with this. Like the one guy's like,
in fact, I want to marry you.
Yeah. And then like talk about, okay, this is the magnet taking away the guns thing. Mm. We'll get married a year from now, you know, because we need a little more time before we fall in love. What I love about that like little thing where it's like we need to wait a year to like get to know each other better. It's like, all right, so you thought that this was too contrived. So you're like, okay, let's dig ourselves out of this hole. And it's like, well, you've only gone deeper.
And like her parent or the prince's parents, like what the fuck happened to that conflict? I feel like it just got resolved way too quick. Like the king is like, well, she's a commoner. I don't want her getting married. And the queen's like, fuck you. And he's like, all right. Like, what the fuck?
That's what I mean. Everything was just like tied together in a neat little bow.
What did I expect? What the hell why?
Well, I kind of figured they'd go harder in the paint, man.
Yeah, and for the first 20 minutes, they for sure did.
They did,
It's
and I'm
super
like,
goofy.
and it's like, you know, because they start to fall for chairs, like, I can't, and it's like, oh no, and it's like, isn't the dude? See, like, they're technically in love with the other one, right? Because they're like switched, but it's like,
No, I was in love with the British voice.
yeah. What if
I
they
was
did?
in love with the Chicago accent.
They should have kept it that way. It's like it should have been like, hey, like imagine they're dating and it's like, hey, can you talk like you're British?
Can you talk like your distant cousin?
No, he's like, oh no, he's like, okay, no, it's the prince. He's like, can you talk like you're British?
Yeah.
Like I am.
Oh my god.
And it's like, why? It's like, no reason. It's just like, I just don't love you if you don't.
It would crack me up if it ended like, wait a second. So you lied to me the whole time?
That's what I love. Is like,
Yeah, but I did it for love.
okay, for generally like, yeah, I did it for love.
No, get away from me.
She like comes in. It's like, I said, get away. Like shoves her over a table.
Secret Service comes in.
It's like, all right, break it up, you two.
Jesus.
Also, the evil girl is just like cool with everything. Shouldn't she be pissed she lost?
Also, the evil girl and like the evil like the what the fuck is the guy's name? The evil servant guy.
Your what do you call him? Your dollar store Tim Curry.
Yeah, dollar store Tim Curry. Like all of a sudden he's just like he's like pumping his fist at the end when they're like all making out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like didn't you almost break your spine trying to take a photo of like the other chick or some shit?
Also important to note. Okay, so you know how like usually in rom-coms, which admittedly is probably my least favorite subgenre, but you know, everyone's seen at least 3 or 4 of them at most, or has been, unfortunately, as you have many times, been forced to watch plenty more.
Yes.
But you know how generally like the plot point too is like somebody fucks up.
There's a misunderstanding.
Yeah, exactly, and it's like they have to like do something to be like, oh no, see, like I know I fucked up.
I gotta prove myself to you in an airport.
Yeah, or like something. Yeah, it's like go big or go home, guys. It's like they just completely they skip that step because the big fuck up is, oh yeah, I lied to you, I switched places, and it's like
Never mind. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's like oh good because I started to think that was it.
Yeah, Jesus.
What else could it be? It's like what?
Now I want to marry you.
Yeah, it's like, are you
That's some
fucking
gumption you've got. I want to marry a girl like that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like normally they're supposed to be like, oh, fuck you. And that's like, oh, man. And
10 minutes of mopey ass shit.
Here's how I'd rewrite that. And keeping in with Lifetime thing. Oh, great. Like, what's her name's like, I need a vacation. And she's like, I'm going back home. They just happen to be on the same flight, obviously, and they're sitting right across from each other. It's like, thanks for ruining my life. And then she's like, what are you talking about? You ruined my life. I don't know why she sounds like Stewie doing a lady's voice. But anyway, then they get to like, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Oh, I most definitely am. And then they high five each other. And then they're like, stop this plane. And they're like, we're already in the air. And then they're like, fuck, okay. And then they like, I don't know. They get off the plane, take a Greyhound bus back to the airport, and they're like, are you still thinking what I'm thinking? Get on that. Okay, so then they take the flight back to Belgravia. Then they do something to like, undo their shitty deed.
Right.
Like, they get on, I don't know, they're like on a gondola on stilts or some shit. Like, juggling.
In the sky.
Juggling fire during some fake Belgravia Christmas festival that's like, I don't know, slightly carnival infused.
Right.
It's like, Prince Charming guy and other dude from Chicago. We've got megaphones and we just, yeah, we know we messed up. You know, that thing, like, they have to do something or they prove that they, like, really love them or whatever.
Right.
It's like, you guys couldn't even get that? Like, That's what I mean. It's like, go hard or go home.
I feel like this would have been a much better watch had I watched it with a group.
You watched this with just Abby?
I watched this alone.
Well, see, I watched this with my family because we were all together, as it was Thanksgiving-ish time. And, we were scrolling through movies, and they're like, everyone was really feeling high on Jumanji. I'm like, I'm not watching that. And they're like, what, you rather watch this? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I will. I would rather watch this. And that's how badly I don't want to see Jumanji. All right, Robert, any other hot takes you want to leave us with? Any parting words?
This movie completely killed the we look alike and we should switch lives for a day or whatever the fuck subgenre movies.
Hey, remember how there's one starring a 12-year-old and she did a better British accent?
Yeah, weird.
Right?
Seriously, oh man, this just murdered this entire genre. Like, fuck. God damn. I mean, not that.
Isn't there another one, and it's also a Christmas Netflix movie? I swear to God, there
Christmas
is.
Prince, I think is what it's
something
called.
like that.
I think it's from the same director or writer or team or whatever.
You don't say.
Yeah, it's.
So okay, I guess let's see. There's Belgravia, the toy store. Just a lot of dumb. So that was your classic shitty 1930s screwball comedy scene.
We're playing Twister. Oops.
Yeah.
I fell on you.
Not even that. It's just like, oh, you can't go over there. Like, it's like, for those of you who haven't seen, I don't imagine you will. It's one of those, like, two people who are in the same room aren't supposed to be there at the same time, so the other people have to hide it from someone, and it's just like, ugh, please stop. All right, so I think I'm out of shit to say. Let's move on to scores. So I'm doing the out of bomb score.
Yes.
And for the first time ever, I can't give it a 1 or 2 out of 2 bombs. I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 2 bombs. Mm-hmm. Because I wasn't bored, but I wanted it to go, a little more overboard in the dumb category.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I was supremely bored because I watched this alone. Had I watched it with a group, it would have been much funnier. I'm not going to rate it out of bombs because this movie is P. 2 out of 10.
Oh, you're just going straight. not out of bombs. This is the first. Man, you really hated this.
Oh man, I did not enjoy myself. 100 minutes? Really? You're going to keep me in this romantic ass, tired ass movie for 100 minutes? Fuck.
It was a little long, so that'll do it for Princess Switch. Was that what it's... Yeah, Princess Switch.
My ass.
My ass. What was that? Oh, I mean, ooh, ouch, my bum.
My ass.
My ass. So, audience, what do you think of this film? Apparently, the Peanuts Gallery agrees with Robert. Anyway, now we move on to our final review. We saw another Christmas film, one I'd never seen, but I'd heard of for a long time, called Scrooged, which is, of course, the classic take on Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol, but this time it's with Bill Murray as the Scrooge character.
But not Scrooge.
Yeah, it's Frank Cross, who plays a TV executive, or rather, Bill Murray plays Frank Cross, who is a TV executive. Mm-hmm. And of course, he's a jerk, hates Christmas, and the rest is basically the Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Well, I'd never seen this either. I'd heard surprisingly good things. I know it has a bit of a cult following, especially in the area, because I think it was filmed here. Or at least part of it was. I was seeing some Chicago stuff.
I thought it was in New York.
I saw like CTA stuff going on.
See,
so I was like,
I don't know. Yeah, it just looked generic, large metropolitan city.
But I'm a big Bill Murray fan, big Richard Donner fan. Didn't know this was him. A lot of people in this.
When I saw this was directed by Rich Donner, my jaw nearly dropped to the floor. I said, "Really?
Yeah,
he directed this."
Yeah, he's got some skeletons in his closet. Right. No pun intended.
Yeah. So right off the bat, I was not expecting this to be this bad. Like from the get-go, it has your classic. Okay, so full spoilers. Okay, so
if you've never seen A Christmas Carol or Scrooged, you're fucked.
Basically,
leave.
Yeah. Anyway, classic fake out hook. And I kind of like the production values a little bit. It reminds me of, like the beginning of Elf, sort of. Mm-hmm. Or the Santa Claus, like your classic Santa workshop, and then there's machine guns. I'm like, all right, I guess this is like kind of funny.
Yeah.
I'm not full blown laughing yet.
I was laughing at that, at least. That made me.
I thought it was silly, and I was enjoying what I was seeing, but I wanted to see it, up the ante. Then Lee Majors is there, and then it turns out, cut away, it's a TV promo. It's like Santa's workshop is attacked by psychos at 7 in like
what's it called, like Dead Reindeer or something?
Yeah, like Dead or Reindeer Dead or like some shit like that.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it's part of a promo. And then we meet Frank Cross, our main character, played by Bill Murray. Mm-hmm. And right from the get-go, Bill Murray is terrible at playing the villain.
Yeah, he's a little too likable.
He's too likable, and he's too naturally nice. Mm-hmm. And that came across right straight away. I'm like, I already hate this movie because he can't deliver the mean lines. He's terrible at it.
Mm-hmm. I think that there is I have a lot of problems with this movie. My biggest problem with it is that it's mostly, I don't know what the hell this movie's trying to do. Like, I feel like this movie has one foot in each pond. Pond A being, it's a classic retelling of A Christmas Carol. And Pond B being, it's a deconstructed retelling of A Christmas Carol. Because this movie simultaneously it'll do things where it'll acknowledge the fact that a Christmas Carol exists in this universe. Right. And then but then it'll completely abide by the rules of itself. Even though characters that live in this world are fully aware of the tropes and turns that the story is going to take, namely Bill Murray.
Right. It's funny you mention that because you say you know how it's going to play out, and that's my problem is absolutely nothing is really unexpected, and they set it up where at first you thought, oh, so this might be a little different, where it's instead the ghosts are going to come at noon, not midnight.
Yeah, and it takes place over 3 days, not one night, like...
Whatever, it's like, I thought it was all Christmas Eve.
No, it's 3 days, because, there's like a bunch of like fucking... There's like time in between each ghost visit where he's like losing his mind and shit. So that was the difference where I'm like, all right, this is not A Christmas Carol. This is a somewhat different retelling.
I kind of thought like, all right, so they're going to do this a little differently, and he's not a banker, he's a TV exec. Mm-hmm. But then right away I was just not enjoying it. And I'm like, it was to the point where he gets visited by his Marley. What the fuck's the dude's name originally? Jacob Marley. And I realized I haven't laughed once, like a serious good laugh. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, so this is how it's gonna go. And then we get to the Christmas past part, and like you say, it happens just like clockwork. Oh, I'm not gonna cry. And then what happens? He cries. And then there's the annoying like Niagara Falls. I'm like, that's not funny. This is stupid. Mm-hmm. Also, am I wrong in saying that the cab driver is also the Ain't Much Better in Here Kid cab driver?
I guess the dude who plays the...
Is that him or am I wrong? Because I thought it looked like him.
It's David Johansen, American singer and songwriter and actor of the New York band, or of the proto-punk band, the New York Dolls.
No shit, that guy was in the New York Dolls.
Yeah.
Really?
Lead singer.
Jeez. Well, I guess I don't know my New York Dolls history that well. I mean, I know of them. I've heard some of their songs. I'm not super familiar with them.
Well, by the way, though, you were right. This takes place the day of the show. But that just goes to show, I guess I missed the fucking pacing. And
that's the other thing. Is this movie's awful on every level. Mm-hmm. The editing is atrocious. Because they just kind of skip through one scene through the other. And there's like... The writing is bad. Like when he's talking to his brother, I didn't really gather 100% that was his brother.
Yeah, I was just focused on Miles Davis being on the street.
Later on, well, yeah, I guess he was there. And then later on, he mentioned something about his brother. I'm like, who the fuck's his brother? I'm like, oh, that guy. I had to rewind several times.
There was another thing where it was
I just missed things.
They did that. That happened for me, but with the one homeless guy that dies.
Yeah.
I'm like,
who the hell is he?
He was like the guy that mistook Bill Murray for Richard Burton.
Oh, and I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, do you know this guy other than that? Because like, if I knew that guy, I'd be like, Oh man,
That's what I feel like.
like that really sucks. But I don't know who this.
There's a combination of script and editing problems, and they sort of, I guess, in the wrong way, went hand in hand because it's like they cut away from things too quickly for you to really like latch onto it or remember it, or they spend too long on things.
So I guess this movie had a pretty rocky production because both Murray and Donner had different visions for what the film could be, as according to Wikipedia. Murray himself described his time on the film as one of, quote, misery, while Donner called Murray, quote, superbly creative but occasionally difficult. So I think that absolutely shows, and it shows kind of the bifurcated, like, this movie trying to be a couple different things at once and not really doing either of them well at all.
Yeah.
And, like, dear God, there are some scenes in this where I'm like, it just feels like Bill Murray's like spinning his wheels and just nothing's coming out. Like the ending where he's just like talking at the audience.
Yeah, I hated that.
I just like, you can see he's like, just someone fucking call cut, please. Fucking dying.
I feel like he's just like, oh, I'm just trying so hard to like embody what people liked about characters in other movies because this character I'm playing sucks.
Yeah.
That was the other thing is like, not only did it feel like Scrooge changed, it felt like it wasn't even the same person.
Yeah. And
it felt like it was like he was like guest hosting Saturday Night Live. Mm-hmm. Well, especially like all the fact that this takes place on sets.
Yeah.
Also, that was the other thing. It's like they didn't do anything interesting with like what would have been interesting sets. Mm-hmm. Like the part when it goes to Christmas Past and he goes and he's on the dog show. There's nothing like interesting happening on the dog show.
Right. It's
like
just random.
It's just like, oh, he's on a kid's show, and
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Or like when he's watching TV, it's like, you gotta get a job and work, kid. It's like you should have made the dad like more over the top.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
It was just so lacking. I think the worst scene in this entire movie, in terms of like, hey guys, this is a comedy. Remember, this is supposed to be funny. Mm-hmm. Is the part where he goes to what is it? I can't remember what the fuck it was. Oh, it was the part where he goes to visit or he doesn't visit, but they watch the Christmas Present, and it's his brother's party.
Yeah.
And they're not really like talking much shit about him. I'm like, I thought everyone's supposed to hate him and think he's a dick. Mm-hmm. Like it was really well done in my opinion, the very best Christmas Carol.
Muppets?
Yeah.
Of course.
Because they play the game like 20 questions. Like, is this a creature of habit? It's like, oh, most certainly. Mm-hmm. Is it a cockroach? And that's like, no, it's like, I know, it's Ebenezer Scrooge. And they're like, ah, ha, ha. They all have a laugh, like, what a dick he is.
Right.
This, it's just like, oh, I would know the answer to that trivia question. It's like, are you kidding me? What the hell is this?
Yeah. This movie also... It accentuates a huge problem that I never really realized I had with the original Christmas Carol story, and I told you about this, which is the ending, which involves Christmas Future, where it's like, so you have Ebenezer Scrooge, and he's dealing with Ghost of Christmas, or he gets Jacob Marley first, who's like, you suck ass, and you're going to be dealing with 3 ghosts tonight. Have fun, bye. Christmas Present shows up. Hey, Scrooge, here's why you're an asshole right now. Present shows up. Hey, here's the effects that your assholiness is causing on other people's lives. And at that point in the classic story, it's when Scrooge realizes, like, all right, yeah, I suck. And he even does it in this movie. Like, he says it to Present, like, or somebody. He says, "Take me home. I'm a changed man. I suck. Whatever." But they're like, "Oh, you've got the Ghost of Christmas Future to visit you yet." And I'm like, but he doesn't need the Ghost of Christmas Future.
They're just trying to avoid recidivism.
That's what I mean. It's like...
I'm kidding.
It's going to scare the shit out of him, and it's going to undo all of the goodness in his heart, and it's going to replace it with fear of death. And it's like, I don't want that. That's like you're coercing him into being a good person and making him feel good.
I'm sorry Charles Dickens didn't have like a writing team in L.A.
They can't all be Oliver
That
Twist.
they could Skype in,
They can't all be Oliver Twist. That's all.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, I think that's like a weird... like complaint you have about Christmas Carol in general. Mm-hmm. And therefore, since that's kind of part of the deal, I don't know if that's really a fair criticism to bring it up here as if that's this movie's fault.
Well, this movie I can have him up at Christmas Carol get away with that because it's like, all right, there are other things on top of that, but I don't know what it was like about. I feel like the depiction of dying in this was so fucking traumatic, like him literally burning to death. It's like, who the fuck isn't going to be like, yeah, sure, yeah, fuck it, coins, everybody coins. It's like, that's like, yeah, sure, he's changed, but like, you fucked him up, man. Like, he's not a good person. He's a fucking trauma patient now.
Right. Also, in that scene, Claire, what's her deal? She's just like, yeah, I decided to stop helping and act like Frank even though he's dead. That doesn't make any fucking sense. In addition to that, why does she like him if he's such a jackass?
I don't know. There's some scenes
I'm trying to save the world. I'm trying to burn it down. Opposite the tract, right?
There's like some scenes in this where he's like literally ordering people around and they're saying, you should fire them. And she's like, oh, lumpy. I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't get this, like, eat shit. Oh, you. I just get tired of that. Let's see what else they did wrong. Let me look at my list.
Let's see.
Okay.
What didn't you like about the movie?
Okay, well, it's an easier question. What did I like? Not much. Well, okay. Okay, you know what? I'll cut right to the chase. I only legitimately laughed once. And that was Bobcat Goldthwait taking over the office.
Yeah.
Well, and that part's kind of weird. It's like, I'm going to shoot you because I'm Bobcat Goldthwait. And then Bill Murray's like, I love you. And he's like, okay.
People are like fearing for their lives and crying and shit.
Yeah, and then there's like, now here's what I want to do. Since I'm a good guy now, I want you to hold the control room at gunpoint. And I guess it like sort of worked on a comedic level to me because it was funny, but not really working plot-wise. But I was like, you know what? At this point, I'll take a laugh where I can get it. Right. And there's the part where John Glover, who's like sort of a rival of Frank's, who again they don't put nearly enough effort into like, ooh, this is
establishing him at all,
establishing him, or like, ooh, I really don't like him. It's just like anything.
Yeah, it's no good.
Yeah, but the point is, what was I going to say? So when Bobcat Goldthwait's like holding him at gunpoint, like tying him up, it's like, yeah, you're supposed to, take that, other exec, and you're like, you kind of gathered that he's like sort of douchey, but like at the beginning, he seems like a nicer guy than Frank Cross's character.
Right. It's not. He seems more put together.
Yeah,
and he's putting together.
But that was the only part I laughed at, where he's like calling the other boss. He's like, yeah, he's just he said like you're a butthead. Like that was the only thing I laughed at.
I chuckled kind of intermittently throughout. Like there's some jokes I was like, that's funny. Not like ha funny, but like
I got like a heh. Like I'm saying like the pity, like I'm trying to enjoy this, goddammit, like that kind of forced laughter.
It was a bit of that. But it wasn't in like it wasn't like Action Point or something where I'm like, dear God,
no, that's
so sad.
That's how I felt. I absolutely hated this movie. There was the cats and dogs as viewers thing. It's like it's not that the joke was really that bad. It's just like the delivery sucked. Like Robert Mitchum, what are you doing in this?
Yeah, what the hell? Isn't this like one of his last movies too?
That's you know what? It happens. You know, Raul Julia. He just chose better. He was in Street Fighter.
Dear God.
Okay, but like that whole thing, it's like I sort of was like I was trying to vibe with the movie. I'm like, oh, I get it. Clueless executives.
Right.
They didn't really go much further with that.
They did not at all, actually. I mean, they try, but they fail.
And there was something I realized though. Speaking of like trying and failing. Much to your criticisms of Christmas Carol, I'll level with you on this. When you watch a bad version of something, and then on top of that, you know how it's going to go.
You start to pick its flaws out?
Oh, you start to hate it more. Because I'm like, the Grace character, who, again, like, her scenes I felt like a couple of them were cut short and were, like, sort of awkwardly edited.
Right.
And they're giving like raspberries to like a 15-year-old. I'm like, I don't get what's going on. Like that shit seems like
I'm not following you.
Yeah, that's like a little kid thing.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Or they're just like wrestling or whatever. It's just like it just felt like let's have a silly family moment.
Yeah, that was no.
But when her kid's like not talking, I'm like, let me take a fucking guess.
What's he gonna say?
It's not like they foreshadowed it and foreshadowed nothing else properly. God blesses everyone. Oh my goodness, he talked. And I'm like, who would have thought?
Oh man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, on top of the fact that I hated this, like I would say we're sort of reversal on the two movies that we watched.
See,
so I was saying though, as on top of the fact that I hate this, I hate it even more because I know how it's gonna go.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't like. I did not like the fact that I could see where this was going. I thought this was pitched as a deconstruction of Christmas Carol. It isn't. It's kind of half that. It's kind of half exactly where you think it's going to go, and that's my biggest problem with it.
Let's see, what else did I hate about this? Just going down the items here. I wish Bobcat Goldthwait was the main character. I think he would have been better. Like,
what's the character's name?
Elliot
Loudermilk.
Loudermilk,
but
or
like,
something.
He's supposed to be? Who's the character that like Tiny Tim's dad? Cratchit.
Bob Cratchit. Yeah. Oh yeah, because he like fires him or whatever.
Well, it's kind of two. It's like it's supposed to be him and the Alfre Woodard character. Because she's essentially the mother of the Tiny Tim character.
Yeah. Also, the sets, like, because they were like TV sets, it just felt like a cop out. Like, all right, guys, we got some scripts. Yeah, I got this one. Who's got a script where we can just use leftover shit? like that's how I felt about like the kids' dog show, especially. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, we need something, some
kind of kid show.
Yeah, it's time to fill the time. Well, we just finished filming in a Petco commercial or whatever the fuck was the pet store in the 80s. Yeah, do that. Yeah, just tell us fellas we need to borrow the dog suit for a couple minutes. Yeah, see? I guess I had one little positive thing. I guess this is where Richard Donner came in. The effects were pretty decent.
I like the effects. That was probably one of the only like objectively like, yeah, these are good.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Ghost Christmas Present. Horribly annoying.
Oh, Carol Kane?
Yeah, I was not a fan.
Yeah. It's all right. I mean, that's kind of her shtick. Like, remember she was the Penguin's mom in Batman Returns?
No, that's what I'm saying is I normally like her. Mm-hmm. Like, cause she's on a bunch of sitcoms too, right?
Yeah, she was on.
She was on 2.5 Men, wasn't she?
2.5 Men. I think she's on. What's the?
Yeah,
Kimmy
she plays one of like Charlie's girlfriend's like parents, right?
I think so.
And she's just like kind of creepy and like that shit was funny.
Yeah. She's also Lotka's wife on Taxi.
Yeah, and I think in this case it was not her fault.
I think it might just be bad directorial work. Like this feels like Richard Donner like came in with a vision. That vision was clashed with by Bill Murray, who is a huge fucking personality, and like you probably ended up splitting the crew, making some enemies, and I feel like it shows in this movie as a result.
That's actually something interesting because, like, now that you mention it, maybe it was that Richard Donner wanted to make a more regular Christmas Carol movie, and that Bill Murray was like, "What the fuck? Why don't we just make this like a full-blown comedy?"
I feel like I would have liked the Murray version if that were the case.
Is it just me, or did this feel like it was trying to emulate Ghostbusters a bit?
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because I guess that was a huge marketing ploy for this movie because it came out only a little bit before. So they were saying like, this is another...
Before.
It was like 84, right?
Oh, I thought you meant this came out... This definitely came out after Ghostbusters,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Was this 88?
88, I
think. The year of Child's Play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, 88. And They use that heavily in the marketing, like the second movie that, Bill Murray's going to have to deal with ghosts. This time it's Christmas and carols and Charles Dickens and shit.
Right. So I kind of felt that way when I was watching this, and it reminded me of like how Darkman, I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys really wanted to emulate Batman, didn't you? Mm-hmm. It really felt like a lesser version of a better movie.
Yeah. It's not, I was really let down by it. But I will say, like, I don't think it's particularly awful. Like,
I think it is 100% terrible.
In contrast, again, like, the flip side, like, I found it watchable. Like, I wasn't bored. It at least, like, looked okay. There was, like, some crazy shit to look at. It wasn't like, oh, man,
I was going to say
what's going to happen next.
I was going to say, I thought there was, like, about 5 minutes of this that was watchable.
That I definitely see
it's
where
like
that is too.
The Ghost of Christmas is yet to come. That was the only like remotely kind of cool part that I was enjoying, with the weird hallway, some other stuff.
Yeah.
But overall, I really hated this. And I remember I was at like the hour mark. I'm like, Jesus, there's 40 minutes of this left.
Yeah.
And then the final nail in the coffin was Frank's winning back Claire thing.
Oh, yeah. It's like, didn't you just make out with some other chick on live television,
Right.
too?
Well, I mean, that's a minor point.
Right.
But it's like, what the hell is this? Like, this is... Well, talk about cliches. Like, this was a particular offender of that. Like, oh my God, what are we doing watching this? Blah, 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 I would have fired you, but now I'm all better, Claire. And it's like he's just rambling like a lunatic, and like she would just be like, oh my fucking God, I know this guy, I'm so embarrassed. She's like, oh, Lumpy. And I'm like, no, shut up. It's not funny. It sucks. Stop calling him Lumpy.
By the way, this movie does take place in New York City, but I don't care.
Yeah.
It doesn't take place in Chicago, so
Yeah.
even less. You know, you lost yourself a half a point. Scrooged.
All right, so let's move on to scores. You know what? I'm going to give this a 1 out of 5.
Yeah,
I absolutely thought it was awful.
I'd probably give it a 5. It's not very good at all, but
So,
I was
well,
perfectly okay with
5 out
watching
of
it.
10.
5 out of 10, yeah. It's
All
not
right.
good, but I
I was like, I'm telling you, I was shocked at how bad this was.
yeah, maybe I didn't have high expectations for it. That might have been why.
Well, that's the thing, is I didn't really have high expectations. I had pretty good ones. I thought it'd be like near Ghostbusters 2, because like I love Ghostbusters 1, but even then it doesn't even crack my top 100 movies. Like a lot of people love Ghostbusters. I'm like, it's all right. And 2, I think Ghostbusters is more than all right. It's just not like my favorite. And
Yeah.
2 is all right.
Yeah.
And I thought this was at least going to be that level.
It's no bueno.
No, right away I realized I didn't like it.
Alrighty.
So that'll just about do it for our review of Scrooged. So we watched a lot of shitty Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Like one I graded out of the bomb scale, which means it's clearly not a good movie.
And then this.
And this.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. We'll figure out what to do next.
Yeah, you know what? If you guys know good Christmas movies, let us know, and we'll watch them. And
Probably
at some point. We now move on to a new segment called Today on the Internet I Saw. Robert, today on the internet I saw a great video.
What was it?
Well, it was a video of Jeff Jarrett, a former WWE superstar, in a compilation of him smashing guitars over people's heads. I believe the title was Jeff Jarrett Guitar Smash Compilation 1999 to 2001. Available on YouTube for your watching pleasure.
For free.
For free.
It's only 3 minutes.
It's only 3 minutes, and it's literally 3 minutes of a guy smashing guitars on people's heads. And
It's worth every penny.
well, first of all, worth every penny. Secondly, I know what you might be thinking, or maybe I'm being a presumptuous prick by assuming I might know what you're thinking. But if not, you might be thinking, but 3 minutes, like, I might get tired of that. Trust me, you won't.
No, they get better.
That's the thing, is like, at first it's just, first of all, it starts with him smashing it over the interviewer. Is that Lawler?
Yeah, I think so.
So it looks like King Lawler's getting it. And it
doesn't stop.
It doesn't stop.
It's consistent guitar hits for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It never doesn't deliver. It's exactly what you ask for.
He gets a few people. I'm not sure. That era was a little spotty. Like, I really started watching like a couple years later. It looks like he hits. Looks like he at least at one point gets what was her name? Jazz.
Yeah. There's a couple people I'm like, is that Roddy Piper?
Well, he gets Ric Flair.
Ric Flair looks like.
When he hits Jazz, I'm like, that seriously looked like that shit hurt.
Yeah, no, it's
And
bad.
the worst one was the one, I don't know who it was. They're in a cage.
Yeah.
In a steel cage match.
Yeah.
Gets in the guitar doesn't really break all the way. Mm-hmm. And the one thing we want to pose to you viewers at home is, do you think these guitars are real? Because some of them looked pretty fake, but some of them sounded like real wood.
How the hell did they do it?
Yeah, honestly, how the hell did they do it? Because that sounds like that hurt like hell.
I'm just looking at this one right here that happens.
is
This one happens in midair. Look at this.
What is this?
This poor soul jumps at Jeff.
Oh, my
and
goodness.
It happens right
So
around.
jumps off the top rope, and instead of,
sidestepping or grabbing him.
or instead of him diving shoulder first at Jeff Garrett gives this fella who decided to get too wild by jumping off the top rope a guitar to the face.
It's right around the 2 minute and 40-second mark, but just watch the whole thing. It's all worth it, we promise. And God, would you like to share how this find started?
Okay. It was we're talking about how on WWE they always use inanimate objects to hit each other,
Namely chairs and garbage cans and such.
chairs, garbage cans, and I thought, have they ever done it with a guitar? And I thought, as I was searching, I'm like, of course they have at some point. Little did I know, this one particular Jeff Garrett character had done it many times. In fact, there was a whole compilation. Thusly, I found something oh so joyous, and after all, joy is one of the 4 Advent candles of Christmas.
Yes. And a guitar is one of the many instruments you can either smash people in the head with or play Christmas carols on.
This is true. I think the greatest dream is maybe Jeff got to do both.
He probably did. And he had to buy a lot of goddamn guitars, I'd assume.
I imagine how awkward that'd be if these are real guitars and they're not like balsa wood. He goes to the guitar store and they're just like, "You're not going to smash this one, are you?" He's like, "Oh, no, sir. I promise I won't."
Can you imagine getting hit in the head with an electric guitar?
Well,
that would hurt like a bitch.
There's like a video of that.
Really?
What's it? Like the Rolling Stones get like attacked on stage somewhere? It's weird.
Fuck.
It's like in the 80s, sort of.
That's not good.
I don't think he really gets him.
Wait, is that the one where people died?
No.
Oh.
No, this was like, it was some TV show.
Oh, okay.
No, it was not the Hell's Angels thing.
Yeah, that one. That's, yeah.
There's another, Kurt Cobain sort of got into a tussle with security at one of his shows. It's happened.
Jesus.
But the point remains that there isn't quite as many things that are nearly as entertaining as this, what was it, to be exact on the title, is this Jeff Garrett Guitar Smash compilation 1999 to 2001 video. So in closing, we say, why not give it a whirl, give it a watch. And let us know what you think. Have you ever smashed a guitar? Has Jeff Garrett ever smashed you in the head with a guitar?
Have you ever seen Scrooged or A Christmas Carol or any iteration of it, or A Princess Switch or any movie that's like A Princess Switch? You probably have.
Also, if you disagree with Robert, tell us why you think that Princess Switch is the best movie available on Netflix.
The best Christmas movie this side of Fred Claus.
Yes, that very well could be true. So I guess that's it. So thank you guys for listening to this 33rd edition of Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. I'm Alex.
And I'm Robert.
And we sign off and say all that shit about follow social medias and stuff. So go on the Facebook, SoundCloud, YouTube, so you can get all the news and reviews and our latest episodes. And you can find all 3 of those pages by just simply searching Bonus Features with Alex and Robert. See you guys next time.